Welcome to Moorish Legacy Talk. I am your host, Frederick Jones Eel as in capital E, lowercase l, and welcome to episode 1. Yeah.
So, Brother Fred.
Yes, sir.
So I was watching the debate you guys had with you and young Pharaoh. I think it was called "Are the Moors Civilizers or Sellouts?"
Yes.
Okay. So how did I also noticed? Well, I ain't gonna even get into all the things I noticed, but what I noticed on that debate, I noticed that it wasn't the typical debate that I'm accustomed to seeing on Young Pharaoh's channel. Can you touch on why?
Yes. I think what wound up happening was him and I set the tone prior to having the debate. Sometimes the way that a event like that goes is going to be based on the relationship between the two sides prior to, usually. And so like he even stated towards the closeout of the debate, we were on good speaking terms. It was a good conversation when we initially spoke. It wasn't any shouting back and forth. It was no profanity being used. We demonstrated noble character. So, and it's like he mentioned, like I said, he mentioned that and I mentioned it as well. And he opened the event stating that. So that kind of had something to do with why the event went the way that it went. So, yeah.
Cool. Excellent. So what did you walk away with from that debate?
Well, I think I walked away with my pride. I felt accomplished because I went through with it. Sometimes when you have events like this planned and they look at, of course, one side as the underdog or one that's not the favorite, and of course one that's the favorite. So I was seen as the person that wasn't the favorite. So being that I actually went through with it and there was no backing out, for me that was an accomplishment. And I was steadfast throughout the duration of the event as far as the questions that was being asked, when it was time for me to rebut something that he, as in young Pharaoh, was stating. So I feel accomplished. And I'm even going to go as far and say that I think I was victorious. Now, of course, that's an opinionated thing to say, being that people are going to have their different view.
Now, what is victory to you?
Victory to me is a few things, but in this case, I think not only did I stand, but I think I showed and proved that the brunt of the argument that he made in his initial video, when he was stating some historical inaccuracies, about the Moors of the Middle Ages. All right. So once I proved that to be false, to me, now this is just to me, you would have to ask others what they think of this, but to me, I think the debate was over at that point. And that's the information where he showed pictures of supposed Moors standing next to people in chains, and I proved that those weren't people who proclaimed to be Moors and who professed the Islamic faith, but instead were soldiers for the Force Publique of Belgium during the late 1800s.
Yes, sir. I was watching. I I enjoyed that debate. I think that it probably would take 5 or 6 or 7 debates to touch on everything, but to try to touch on as much as possible in one debate, I think it was action packed. I think it was well done. I think Pharaoh showed his mature side. I mean, I know he was, doing his little thing he do.
Shouts to young Pharaoh, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. Big shout out to young Pharaoh, and big shout out to Dane Calloway holding young Pharaoh down and all that good stuff. I found that amusing as well in a good way, and I believe that everybody walked away with something positive, and they'll find something negative. That's a given.
Of course.
But just me as a fan of consciousness, I think that was a very, very good thing for the culture. I think it's a good first step in what needs to happen. So then I want to ask you on to another topic, your show. Once again, what's the title of your show, good brother?
Moorish Legacy Talk.
Now on this show, what is the focus of this show?
Well, the focus of the show is just issues concerning our community, things and current events that affect the so-called black community, and just in general, overall, the show is going to be based around our whole existence, our everyday affairs, again, current events, some of the history pertaining to our people and our ancestors, and social issues and things of that nature. So
now you'll be talking about social issues from the perspective of a Moor.
Oh yes, absolutely, and thank you for that question. I appreciate that question, because I didn't mention, well, I mentioned the name of the show, but I didn't specifically say that I would be coming at these things from the perspective of one who claims the Moorish identity, but relating to our people who identify as black, who don't identify with that. So I'm going to meet our people where they are. But yes, brother, legit question. I'm going to be coming at it from the perspective of a Moor and a Moorish American.
So just to make this clear, so you're going to make it possible for those who consider themselves to be black and to realize that they're much more than that, and to make sure that they know that we are not biased against them in their way of thinking, but trying to just help them be more well-rounded.
Beautiful question and beautiful statement, and thank you for that, because that brings me back to something that I said to young Pharaoh in the debate, where I said that the Moors love Africa. I love Africa, so we're not separate from them. And even our people, we love our people, and we look at you as one. We're just coming at it from a different angle. And that's not to say that you pushing where you're pushing is the wrong way and I'm right, because this is something that we have to attack from all sides, from both sides. So absolutely, like you said, dear brother, I'm definitely not coming from one who is saying that I'm separate from you because I claim the Moorish identity instead of the black identity. And we're going to get into all of that, why we...
Just for clickbait purposes, because they always swearing somebody's trying to get clickbait. So for clickbait purposes, brother, for real, where is Africa?
Africa actually consists of North, Central, and South America, the adjoining islands, and North, Central, and South Africa. Africa was one, and then it split into two. So we're standing.
Don't give too much.
All right. True indeed.
Yeah, because sometimes they be sitting there like, oh, the Moors and Africans, this and that. This is all Africa.
Exactly. And I didn't touch on that in the debate. Thank you for that, brother.
Yes.
I didn't say that specifically when I should have said that. So.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to touch on in this intro before we go in?
Yeah. So one thing that I wanted to let the viewers and the listeners know is that this path that we're on, all right, this path out of physical and mental slavery is continuous, all right? And you have to be in it for the long haul. And we're in this together. We're in this together. We're always unfolding, like how a flower or a plant is unfolding, like growing, budding. And we need each other. I need you, you need me. And this is an ecosystem. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So, So, I don't know. I think we gave him a little something to get ready. Now, as far as your show is concerned, will people be able to get on your show and be able to converse with you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone is welcome from the community. All schools of thought, all the different religions, all denominations within those religious sects, people from different civic organizations. Yes, any and everybody who are of the diaspora, even the diaspora here on our ancestral estate, because you know that we was moved around right here. So yes, all of our people.
All right, y'all. So y'all got something coming. It's coming soon. You know, you got any idea of when they should expect to witness the first episode?
Yeah, the first episode of Moorish Legacy Talk, Season 1, should be expected in February of 2020.
All
That's
right.
when we should expect it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Now, do you have an email or anything like that? So just in case if people might want to send content, send invites or whatever the case may be?
Yes.